In this episode, I decide to demast and take the European waterways to the Mediterranean instead of fighting the autumn storms across the Bay of Biscay. But the canals present their own challenges, and I'm faced with heavy traffic, shallows, and broken locks as I adjust to life on the French countryside. We're in Belgium. I've been in Belgium for 4 or 5 days now. Niels is leaving today. So my plan is to go in through the locks and start in the Belgian channels before making my way to the French waterways, instead of waiting for another weather window to go offshore. To go in the inland waters, it's a really good idea to take down your mast because the bridges are 3-4 meters tall. I've removed all the rigging. Now I'm gonna disconnect the lantern. It's super windy today, so I'm hoping the crane guys will let me operate their crane. The wind speeds exceed the safety limits of the boatyard's crane. But my Swedish neighbors offer to help, and together with Niels the Dane, our little Scandinavian coalition starts preparations. The marina let us borrow this, the sort of jetty. Niels is currently rigging, trying to get it down, and there's 3 Swedes coming to help us. Yeah. Kalmar reunion.
Ja, du tror på det här?
Jag tror på det, jag tror på det.
Säkert mer än inte i alla fall.
Easing the main halyard attached in the bow bit by bit, and with a supporting line from the jetty, we get the mast safely down in one go.
Yes. Jag har den. Ja, Niels, då var det landningsdag.
1-0 for 10 dages arbejde.
Ja, det er...
Selv som dansker er det måske lidt i underkanten, men den er god. Den er god.
Det var...
Well, mast is down, so now it's just the locks tomorrow. I'm slated for the locks at 13:45. I'm just hoping there's no swell there, because I gotta wait for a while. Luckily for me, an oil tanker lets me dock with them in the lock, and they even sent a crew member to help me out.
Well, I hope you get to your destination fine and well.
Thanks, man. I'm so way out of my water right now. Literally. I've pretty much gone in a circle from the marina, all around there, wading through the locks. But I was just downwind without a mast. Wind's picking up. There's a big dark wall coming there. But I'm leaving the coast. As soon as I pass through that lock, I don't have to worry about the weather. Only thing I gotta worry about now is gas prices. Well, that bridge wouldn't open, so I'm on my way to ask in person. It's closed. Closed for the day, closed at 6. But that's kind of a blessing in disguise, because then I get to stay here for free, I presume. Late at night, the bridge suddenly opens and a river barge comes through, crashing from side to side. Looks like they're actually mooring. Well, that was intense. That guy just came through, crashing back and forth in the bridge, got stuck 3 times at least. I asked them if I should move my boat because their ship was pretty long. They just said no, and they moored their bow, and then they just started using their thruster. I barely had time to pull the ship away. They were just coming straight in towards me without any warning sounds, nothing. If I hadn't paid attention, they would have just gone straight into me. But one of the traffic controllers came down to look at them, and he told me this is a mooring for commercial ships, but I was allowed to stay till the morning. He said that if I'm ready at 8:30, it's fine. And he also warned me about these guys. They're pretty notorious for crashing into stuff. Apparently the cops checked them. They're not drunk, so... The city of Brugge is the capital of Western Flanders. It can trace its origins back to the Roman Empire in the 1st century BC and had its golden era during the Middle Ages as an important trade port between the Northern Hanseatic League and the southern trade routes. But around the year 1500, the tidal canal named the Golden Inlet, which connected Bruges to the sea, began silting up, and thus the Golden Era ended. So the waterway office in town closed years ago, or released their sale of permits, which means I'm currently running without a permit. Gotta buy it online, so my plan was just to tie up to shore, but it seems I gotta go pretty far, so I'm just really hoping I'm not getting stopped by the police or something. The permit's in order. I just went into that little mini harbor, grounded my boat, stuck for 30 minutes, so I had some time to fill it all out. So now I've got a permit valid for a week, which should get me to France. Apparently there's a lot of wind today. Not that I'm noticing. Oh look, on the water over there. You can see it's not like a mirror. It's pretty windy. You know, I can get used to this. I accept the bureaucracy. Well, that's the first. It's the intersection. I'm gonna turn right, not starboard. Let's call it right. It looks like there's a neat little anchorage, so I'll be spending the night there. Cargo ships are passing. When they do, they pull all the water out. So I'm just like stuck in the side of the channel and I slide down. Sinking, sinking, sinking. And she's popping right back up. So on my way to the gas station. Just need an extra 5 liters. Mission accomplished. I always hate leaving my boat around, but she's still there. It's a cargo ship and I can't really make it any closer to the shore without risking my keel. So they were holding for another boat to pass and I just grounded trying to get out of the way, so now I'm reversing for their life. Charts aren't always up to date and I find myself going up a small river. Well, going back down again, that guy informed me that the lock here is closed permanently. According to my map, this section here is closed off and you have to go around here to get to the locks. Well, that's the meanest lock ever. The lock operator had no comprehension of the phonetic alphabet and had me spell the name of my boat out verbatim. Getting pretty late, so I don't want to push it with the next lock. So I found this little neat harbor here. I went ashore. You gotta pay in cash, but they were kind enough to just let me stay until tomorrow, and I'll just withdraw 15 euros, which is nothing compared to what I've been paying since Zeebrugge. That has gotta be the longest cargo ship I've seen so far. It'll be close to 100 meters. I'm getting ready to leave and I've had a slight setback. I discovered that the waterway permit I have for Belgium, which you find on Google if you Google Belgian waterway permit, is only valid for Flanders. So there's a separate permit for the Wallonian waterways and there's no information how to get it. The harbor master informed me that Wallonia is actually split up into pieces. I'm here. The river I'm currently on passes right through here. So I won't leave Flanders at all. That's where I was planning on going. So that's the marina I'm going to. I'll soon be crossing into France, which is kind of hilarious because the entrance to the harbor is the French-Belgian border. So I had to cross the river back to Belgium. I couldn't find the harbor master and it turned out that the jetty right here was free. Today I'll just be crisscrossing back and forth between Belgium and France. So the first lock here is Belgian and the next one is French. I'm trying to get the French waterway permit, which is really easy because it's in French and of course I speak French, everyone does. And this is the final Belgian lock. As you can clearly see, that's the first French flag vessel I've seen so far. So it's the first French lock that didn't answer on a VHF, so I had to run up to the tower and knock on the door. So I had to keep going a bit further last night because the harbor was 1 meter deep. But I found another one. However, to navigate the French waterways, you need a permit, which I have. But it needs to be displayed in your bow, which means you gotta print the paper. And as you can see, I've got a lot of space for a printer here. So I just went to the mayor's office and I found one person who could speak English. I asked the others if they spoke Norwegian, but that scared them even more. So now I got the piece of paper printed. The lock's out of commission. I don't get why I didn't notice that on the map for some reason, but it means I gotta go around, so it'll be 50 kilometers. So I had a pretty bad scare right now, because I was looking through the canals, so I have to go halfway to Dunkirk, but then I saw that that canal was closed, and the alternative was going back to Belgium, to Brussels, and then down. But it looks like the canal to Dunkirk, or halfway there, will be open. And I can see the AIS transponders from lots of commercial ships coming to and from. So, it should be fine. But from here on out, I've really got to pay more attention. And we're back in Belgium, the Hotel California of Europe, it seems. So, I had to turn back. I called the lock operators and it took a long while. I tried my best, but there's room for improvement. But I got the message across. If I'm not fatally mistaken now, they'll open the lock at 0900 tomorrow. Way too early in the morning. So the guys in the previous lock gave me this remote controller. So I'm curious. I'm gonna test it. Getting a red and green light over there. Each knocking on a tower. The speed limit's 3 kilometers an hour, and I'm currently losing a race against a family of swans. How utterly embarrassing. And we're done. Man, I'm impressed. 1 hour. I'm almost out by the main canal from Dunkirk, and the water's 1 meter deep. Said it was supposed to be 220 all the way. So there's the lock. It's a 50-meter stretch of shallow water. Well, you can see the water level's pretty low. If it had been a day with solid rainfall, it might have worked. Every single shortcut, whatever I do, it ends up being a major detour. Something supposed to take a week, it'll take 5. I'm joined by a friend from Norway, and we spent 5 days waiting for more water in the coasty town of Ester. The people of this town are really friendly. The guy came down to my boat now, and from what little I could make out of his French, he was talking about how he'd seen me walk around town barefoot. So he just dropped off this bag. I tried to refuse his gift, but he would have none of that, so he pretty much ran off. And when I looked inside, there was a pair of sneakers. And they're my size as well. It's been raining all night. The river's risen. Put a stick here in the ground to measure where it's at now. was down there yesterday. So I need 20 centimeters. There's a lot of rivers draining into this main river. In 2 days, it's gonna be a torrential downpour. So I'm actually gonna wait it out. So the current's pretty strong. Got a knot or two head current. Well, if we gotta turn around, at least we'll be back pretty fast. This is a godsend. I can already tell by the riverbanks that the water level is significantly higher. I took out a measurement on both sides of the boat and I was lacking about 20 centimeters to go clear with my keel. So you guys have a better grasp on this than me because you guys saw this a few minutes ago. It's been near a week. According to my memory, there's a lot more water now than it was when I was chasing the swans. And I also got a crew member, but she's getting drunk already, so not much use, but I don't know. I mean, she's gotta pay for gas, so. And now is the moment of truth. If we can't pass here today, we'll have to go back to Kortrijk. Fingers and toes crossed. I measured it at 120. My boat's 140 in freshwater. Satan i helvetes jävla förpulte drittmöter. Oh. So I tried running the engine full throttle, pushed this forward about 5 meters, and then it's a dead stop. I don't even know if I'm gonna make it off of here. So you might wonder what I said when I went around, and that's just a quick Norwegian lesson for you guys. If you practice all those words, then you'll manage just fine in Norway. Broken lock I first encountered will reopen in a week, and we decide to wait for it instead of going back through Belgium. Skisesongen starter tidlig. Hva jävla fysa du är då? Okej, fine. Ge mig maten, så är det inte så farligt, så kör man resten. We just lost power whilst running the diesel heater, which is very, very, very bad. I don't know what the hell's going on. Battery seems to be working still. So there's no fire, which is nice. By the life of me, I can't make out what just happened. According to my shot here, this is when I started the diesel heater. These two graphs are showing voltage and current draw in amps. This is completely flat until it just cuts out. But it wasn't the battery BMS, because then the voltage would be... I got no idea what's happening. Can you tell me what just happened?
Darkness surrounded us suddenly.
Yeah, she's into this magic thing, so... But she's probably right according to this chart, because there's nothing wrong with the technology. Like the China boys know what they're doing, copying the diesel heater. It was going without power for a good 5 minutes. When the power came back online, it cooled itself. Go have a look outside. No explosions. Just to start up, no issue. But we did hear a whizzing sound that scared the shit out of us, which was a vape that got jammed between the wall and the plank. We couldn't figure out what it was for a few seconds.
By we, he meant, of course, me, and by a vape, he, of course, meant his vape.
So we're gonna practice proper pronunciation. Can
Yeah,
you say
vape.
that?
Vape.
Vape. So I think I've figured out the problem with the diesel heater. This bus bar here is badly corroded. So I got new cable shoes here. Sparing you all the boring details. I'll put the negative here on a shunt, and I've wired the positive straight to the battery. No flickering lights. That's good. And now it's running. Well, that was a mystery that I'm very happy to have solved. So now y'all know, if the power cuts out when you start the diesel heater, check your contacts. Okay. That was unexpected. So we're still alive, no nuclear holocaust yet. It turns out that in France they test their sirens the first Wednesday of every month. That sound really wakes you up. sick for a few days. Been down with a fever, shivering and all, feeling like crap. So finally got to go for a hike. So I've been to Belgium, I'm back in France, but staying in a town for a while has its pros. We discover a freshwater tap at the local cemetery, providing us with sorely needed drinking water. And the local supermarket has a toilet, which reduces the strain on my tiny holding tank. But after a week of good food and exploration, the lock finally reopens. Today's the day. The lock's supposed to be open again. So they're still working over there, but the lights are working and the giant cranes are down. So we're gonna make a go for it. So that's it for the Demasted detour. Closing in on the lock now. In the next episode, the journey south continues. Sharing the locks with river barges proved challenging, and we leave Canal du Nord for the older St. Quentin Canal to avoid them. But little do we know that we're trading one problem for another.